It's the web show of Todd, coming to you from my own personal Legoland. That's a pirate ship and some Harry Potter stuff, a space shuttle over there. I like to build these things with my son. We build them together and play. It's fun. It's fun. It's one of those things that makes living worthwhile. We're on Don't Act reason number 5. Here's my Don't Act book. You can, could buy it, read the whole thing. Today's reason to not act, number 5, is you will have to memorize lines. Let me read. Do you recall enjoying times table flashcards as a child? What about remembering 20 some odd new vocabulary words every single week that you would never use again for the Friday high school English class quiz? Clack? Remember that word? Yeah, I didn't think so. How about all the capitals of all the states? Was that a good time for you? Remembering lines is much harder than any of those things. You're not just memorizing words, but words in a very particular sequence. Words that aspire to sound like regular old talking. Do you remember the exact conversation you had with your best friend 2 days ago? I'm guessing probably not, unless you are an idiot savant. Well, if you choose to act, you are going to have to remember the conversation word for word, and if you don't, you are going to look like an idiot non-savant. As an actor, not only will you have to remember the lines of the character you're playing, but you'll have to remember the lines of the other characters as well, so you know when your lines are coming. The great part of graduating from school is that once you are out of there, you no longer have to memorize information simply to regurgitate it later. If you are an actor, you don't get to graduate. You will forever be memorizing and regurgitating, which means the same thing as puking every day. And it doesn't get easier, it gets harder because you will get older. What happens when you get old? You forget things. And when you fumble lines on a set or on a stage, you know what everyone thinks? Exactly what your technique teacher taught you back in college. You suck. But folks on a set won't be so nice about how they tell you. And if you continue to screw up your lines, and I know they make it look oh so funny on those blooper reels, you will get fired. That's right, there won't be a bunch of laughter and slaps on the back regarding how silly it was that you said penis instead of pianist, but rather, you'll get a call instructing you to pack your bags and head home. I've never actually been fired because somehow I've always remembered my lines, except for this one time when I was working on a show called The Guardian. The scene involved me and a few others sitting around a large conference table, and I had a short monologue. When I got my cue, and I knew what it was because I had memorized it, I completely forgot what the hell it was I was supposed to say. I froze up in a complete state of panic. The fact was that I had taken this allergy medication the night before the shoot, which in retrospect was a stupid thing to do, given that I had no idea what side effects I might experience. The side effects I experienced were extreme fatigue, dizziness, and nausea. Even though I spent hours the night before memorizing my lines and then hours reviewing them in my trailer as I waited to be called to set, they completely flew out of my head when it was my time to speak. Which means I didn't really know them by heart. If you've done your job thoroughly, you should be able to recite your lines regardless of what's happening. That's how well you must know them. Luckily, it was just a rehearsal and we weren't shooting, so I could pretend as if I hadn't been completely focused, saving my all for the actual shot. But let me tell you, forgetting those lines is a nightmare. Remember how it felt that one time when you had to take the English class vocabulary quiz and you hadn't gotten around to memorizing the words? Imagine that feeling of failing, but it isn't just the teacher who knows. There's 100 or so people who know, and they are all staring at you. But that kind of, if that kind of thing doesn't bother you, then by all means start acting. Today! Go out there and get him! Anyway, I'm going to play with this pirate ship. Thanks for tuning in. Sail, sail, Black Pearl.